Part 2 of my chocolatey perfumes. So this time round it's actually bars of chocolate, so dark chocolate, white chocolate, milk chocolate, rather than the cacao or cocoa powder. So I'd say probably one of the most famous and most popular perfumes is this celebrity perfume, which is Britney Spears' Fantasy. I don't think this is her first perfume, but I think it's the first of the Fantasy range, and all the others since have been flankers. Years since I've smelt it. However, Fantasy is one that I never really got involved with until I was a bit older, and then generally speaking, the Britney Spears perfumes, all of them, including all the private show ones, all of them, they're either too much patchouli, or they're too woody, or they're just too syrupy sweet, they're too sickly. But the chocolate in this one makes this far more bearable for me. However, this one came with a pen spray as well. So I think realistically, I don't really need a whole bottle of this. This is the sort of thing I'll wear only probably in winter because it's very sweet. If I just want to be a bit of a man killer. So I think I might keep the pen spray and pass on the actual bottle. But the notes in this one, top notes kiwi, red lychee, quince. Middle notes white chocolate, cupcake, orchid, jasmine. Base notes musk, orris root, and woodsy notes. So I actually sprayed this one on because I think it really needs skin to bloom. And this, because it does smell, it smells like a cupcake with white chocolate frosting and some slices of tart kiwi fruit on top. That's literally exactly what it smells like. You get all those kind of sharp fruits in the top, but it's very blended with the white chocolate and the kind of cupcake and the frosting, you know, all those smells. I don't think this one's massively woody. I don't find it particularly floral. I think it's just like a super epically girly smell. It's incredibly sweet. You can definitely sense the white chocolate, and I think the longer it's on your skin, the more it smells like white chocolate. So I think this one's kind of cute. I don't mind this one at all. It's not like my favourite perfume, but I think I can understand why so many people like this. I totally get it. I really do. So yeah, I think it's just in certain seasons this one goes a little bit funny on my skin, but not in cold weather. Like that's fine. But at this time of year, it's not great. So that's Britney Spears Fantasy. Now, next up. Okay, let's do the really popular ones first. This is Vera Wang Princess, which I think is also one of the most famous chocolate perfumes. I don't understand this perfume. So it's incredibly girly. This bottle is insane. I hate the lid. I don't like any of this nonsense. I think the actual perfume's kind of cool in the bottle. But I think this is really weirdly marketed because any of you who've seen my other videos know I love the Vera Wang Embrace line. They smell girly, delicious, creamy, sweet, except for the green tea one, which I think is rubbish. But the other four, I think they're lovely. And I think they're super girly. I've smelled a couple of these now. I've got two Vera Wang Princesses. I've got this and I've got Glam Princess. And I think they smell weirdly mature. I don't understand why these are marketed towards children. I don't get it. Let me just sniff. I find them super woody and weird, and I don't think these don't smell like little girl perfumes to me at all. They look like they're for children, but they don't smell like they're for children. I don't think so anyway. Nope, I'm not keen. So anyway, I tested this one out, and I've been keeping it and like to do this video specifically. So I still have the box. I'll get rid of this one. And Glam I just got because I got like a bundle online, and that was part of it. But to be honest, I really don't like that perfume. That smells like a very vintage perfume, and I don't mean it smells like it's gone off. I mean it smells very old fashioned. So this one though, so the original Princess, the top notes are water lily, apricot, apple, mandarin. Middle notes dark chocolate, guava, tiare flower and tuberose. Base notes vanilla, amber and woodsy notes. And I think there's quite a lot of water lily, kind of sharp fruits, It's slightly sweetened from the vanilla, but not massively. I do get some chocolate, but I get a lot of wood. I get a lot of woodsy notes with this one. I think it starts to go a bit cologne-y. I don't understand this perfume at all. It's really popular, so that's obviously me. If I was going to tell anyone to get a chocolate perfume, this would not be it. I think Fantasy is way better than this, but obviously it's way, way sweeter. This has fruits in it that are keeping it a bit sharper. So it's a odd combination because it's got chocolate in it, but it's sharp. It's yeah, I don't like this one at all. So like I said, I've just been keeping this to show in this video because I don't get it. I really don't get that one. Now then, next up. Oh, okay. This was this tiny little bottle. This is a Mariah Carey perfume. Another one where I don't like the lids of this, but I like the bottle. Again, like, that seems to be a thing. So this is, I'm just having a little sniff. This is one of Mariah Carey's Lollipop Bling line, and this one is called Mine Again. This is kind of an interesting one. I find this is too sickly sweet for me, and it's not sickly sweet in a way that I can deal with because there's so many berries. Like, there's a real berry vibe going on here. Let me read you the notes. So, top notes of this are red currant, orange, and heliotrope. Middle notes are chocolate, cotton candy, raspberry, and magnolia. Base notes are vanilla, tonka bean, and musk. And I just think for me, if you like very sweet perfumes that also have berries in, then I think you would probably quite like this because it has that mixture of the tart, red currant and raspberry, and then it has, but for me, like massively overkill on how much sweet stuff there is in this because there's chocolate. This says chocolate, not dark chocolate. I'm just trying to work out if I can. I think there's a slight bitter edge that would suggest this is dark chocolate. So chocolate, cotton candy, vanilla, and tonka bean. And for me, that's overkill. That's too much. There's too much going on because it doesn't, to me, smell like a food. There's something in this. There isn't any woods noted, so it must be something to do with the heliotrope and magnolia in this that's stopping it, to me, from smelling gourmand at all. But I think it's got real sharpness from the raspberry, blood orange, and red currant, and then it's got a little bit of florals, and then it's intensely sweet. So for me, that's just a combination that I don't really get on with very well. But I think, again, like, if you like berry scents, if you like fruit chulis and that kind of thing, you'd probably quite like this one. And I think this was from Direct Cosmetics. This is just little 15ml, and I think these are about £3.50 or something on there. They're really cheap. So yeah, that one's not my favourite. I'm going to pass that one on as well. But it's kind of interesting, that one. It's interesting, but it's not quite my thing. So another one it's not my thing. Oh, I don't have a full bottle of this. So this is just a little carded sample of CK1 Shock Street Edition for her. Now, I did initially think I was getting CK1 Shock for her. I didn't realise there were two different versions of this. But anyway, so yeah, this one, even though it's a CK1, is supposed to be for women specifically. And as with every CK1, apart from the original one, I find all CK1s just smell a little bit like cologne. I don't think they are particularly feminine. I think they lean masculine, and I think this is the same. But this one's not awful. It's just, it's not my vibe, and there's patchouli in it. And me, I don't cope very well with patchouli, so it's interesting though. So the notes in this are plum, bergamot, and mandarin. These are the top notes. The middle notes are caramel, fruity notes, and chocolate. Base notes are patchouli, sandalwood, musk, and amber. So I think I definitely don't like the base notes in this. But the combination of the fruits, the plum particularly, I think, with the caramel and the chocolate, is actually quite subtly done and quite nice. So I think If this didn't have the patchouli and wood in the base, then I might be on board with this one. But I think the patchouli and wood is giving it a more of a cologne-y vibe to me, really. Yeah. Yeah, this just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel feminine enough for me. It's quite sweet. And I think that sweetness with the woody notes just isn't my kind of vibe. However, it's quite fresh and it's quite interesting, this one. I think it's okay. It's just not for me. Like, when I first smelt it, I was annoyed, but I was sort of annoyed with myself because I got the wrong one. But then having a look at the notes of the other one, I don't think I'd like that one either. And I've completely given up on getting CK1 for myself because they're just all too masculine for me. But yeah, the plum, the chocolate, and the caramel in this are quite an interesting mixture. So again, if you don't have a problem with woody perfumes, if you have no problem with patchouli, this one might be worth looking into if you can get it for a good price. So now we move into ones I actually like. So let's start with... This is really unusual, this perfume. This is Avon Cherish. Has this actually ever been in? I'll have to do. So these are from Notino. Notino's the best place to get Avon stuff from if it's stuff that you can't get on the actual Avon website, which is the case with a few of these, to be fair. Let's try and, is it possible to get that out of the way? Let's try and find a way. Slide it in there. Okay, so Cherish does have a chocolate note, but it's not in any way a typical chocolate perfume. It's quite a surprising smell, this one, I'd say. Because it's tart. It's really tart. And then it has that chocolate in the base. So, top notes of this are pink grapefruit, pear, and wild strawberry leaf. Middle notes are violet, rose petals, and jasmine sambac. Base notes are dark chocolate, sandalwood, and amber. And this, it has a greenness from that strawberry leaf, but also has a slight strawberry vibe. But it's very sharp from the pink grapefruit and the violet. I'm not really getting much jasmine. Only a tiny bit of rose. The pear has a bit of sweetness. And then the sandalwood, amber, and dark chocolate in the base gives it a slightly sweetened, creamy base. Like a kind of, well, a sort of powdery base. And this one really stays slightly fruity and tart, but you get that kind of bitter chocolate vibe in the base. It's an interesting perfume, and I like this one. This one I can actually wear because it's not ridiculously sweet. It's slightly gourmand because of that pink grapefruit being quite dominant. This is quite a grapefruity smell. But it is all anchored with that sandalwood, amber, and chocolate in the base. Yeah, this is a really interesting one, this perfume. This is not something that I even really know what I could compare it to. It's quite unusual, I'd say. So yeah, Cherish. So Avon have a few different Cherish perfumes. This is the only one with chocolate in. So this is Avon Cherish Escape, in case I didn't actually say it. This one, it has a really silly cap. Because it's just basically a hole, so it doesn't really do anything. I mean, I don't think it would even stop you spraying it, to be fair. I think they just did it because it kind of looks a bit cool, but it's a bit silly. But yeah, these from Notino are about £8. All of the Avon ones pretty much are about £8, and this is a nice one. I like this. It's definitely odd, but I like it. Unusual, maybe I should say. Speaking of unusual, this is such a weird perfume. It smells even weirder because I've been smelling all the others. So this is Ghost. And this is Moonlight Ghost. Or Ghost Moonlight, I should say. This is such an odd perfume. I think all of the Ghost perfumes are weird. But some of them are weird in a way I like, and some of them are weird in a way I absolutely hate. So this is really unusual. And I think this is not a safe blind buy, this one. I would say you would definitely want to do what I did, which is I got a little sample of this one and I just happened to quite like it because sometimes I like weird perfumes. But this is a weird mixture of notes that a lot of people have commented and said they don't think they go together. They think they clash with each other. And I know exactly what they mean, but I still quite like it. So, so the top notes in this are ginger, bergamot, and melon. Middle notes are orange blossom, lily of the valley, and pink peony. And the base notes are white chocolate, sandalwood, and amber. And it is very gingery at first, and then you've got the kind of citrus and the sweet melon, and they're kind of tangy, and the ginger's fiery. And you can recognize that there's definitely some wood and there's definitely some flowers. And it has like a really fresh, clean, it's pushing slightly towards weirdly masculine because of the ginger and the sandalwood, but not fully. It almost smells like it's a sporty fragrance, but then randomly also has white chocolate in it that makes it sweet and is very noticeably white chocolate. So it's creamy. It's very odd. I do feel like in a way the white chocolate doesn't necessarily suit those notes, but I also kind of like it. It's a very strange perfume. Like I said, it's not a safe blind buy. This is just one of those weird ones that for some reason I like, and I find it difficult to explain why I like it, but I think I just do like that white chocolate note because I don't cope very well often with vanilla, and therefore white chocolate is sometimes like a good thing to have instead of that because I only like vanillas when I think they're like custardy. If they're perfumey vanillas, I cannot deal with it. And just by its nature, white chocolate has a kind of creamy vanilla-y smell to it. Yeah, it's pretty original, this one. I quite like it. It definitely isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. So, like I said, you can get on eBay little samples of this one. So probably worth trying it before buying it. And then let's finish up with this one, which I think is possibly... Let's move this one over here. This is possibly my favourite perfume with an actual chocolate note. So generally speaking, I prefer cacao because I like the powdery effect of that chocolate note, you know. So often actual perfumes with actual chocolate in them, sometimes I can find a bit cloying, a bit overly sweet. And what I like about cacao is that it doesn't have to be necessarily super sweet. It just has like a powdery cocoa vibe. This one is sweet. It's quite vanilla-y, but there's something about this that just works. And I think, again, that's because this vanilla leans to a kind of custardy smell. And the chocolate in this, even though it's dark chocolate, I think smells more like milk chocolate because it's mixed with that kind of custardy vanilla. But again, this is also a very weird perfume. So this is Sun Delight by Jil Sander. And this one, the top notes are passion fruit, mignonette, and Sicilian bergamot. Middle notes, vanilla, frangipani, and dark chocolate, and vanilla orchid. Base notes, musk, woodsy notes, and cedar. So I can definitely smell that there's wood, but the chocolate is kind of overpowering or blending in well with them, so it doesn't bother me. And when you first spray this, it straight up smells like plastic. It's really weird. All of the Jil Sander Sun perfumes smell super synthetic when you first spray them. Some of them remain smelling synthetic the whole way through. Others change into something else, normally relatively quickly. So this one, you first spray it, definitely got a weird synthetic plasticky smell, which is followed or joined by very quickly a passion fruit smell. And then the mignonette has like, it smells a bit like lavender. It's got a kind of lavendery vibe. So you've got quite tart, sharp, like nose tingly smells at first, but it's very well matched by the vanilla and the chocolate and the frangipani, which is super creamy. So I think it doesn't take long until, I mean, you can smell the chocolate almost immediately, maybe just like 20 seconds of weird plastic smell, and then you get joined quite quickly by vanilla and chocolate. And when this actually dries down properly, you have just a very slight hint of that kind of slightly lavendery smell from the mignonette, a very slight hint of the kind of citrusy, fruity smells from the passion fruit and the bergamot. But mainly you have a vanilla mixed with chocolate and a creamy frangipani, and what that leaves you with is a smell that's very milk chocolatey. And I like this one. I can actually wear this in summer as long as it's not like ridiculously high heat summer. Yeah, it has like almost a milk chocolate kind of crusher or a milk chocolate Nesquik kind of smell. And a chocolatey, a soft scoop ice cream smell. So again, like what I'm saying is it's got a bit of a synthetic vanilla-y smell about it. But it's a nice one. It's a nice one. So I think, yeah, I quite like, I think Sun Delight's really nice. Sun Delight, Cherish and Ghost are part of my permanent collection. And like I said, I'll keep this pen spray. I've got a Fantasy, but I think while I'm selling some other bits and pieces, I'll probably put this one up on eBay as well. But I do like it though. I think I can understand why so many people like Britney Spears Fantasy. I totally get it. So yeah, I think that is all of my chocolate perfumes. Unless there's any I've got that I just don't know have chocolate in or haven't realised or forgotten. I think this is all of them. I'm not necessarily planning to buy any more specifically because they've got chocolate, because I've got a decent collection going on as it is. And like I said, I kind of prefer cocoa powder. But yeah, so that is the end of the part 2. I think I'm not entirely sure that any of these are safe blind buys, unless you like very sweet perfumes, in which case you're definitely safe with Fantasy. Fantasy is like, I think it's probably one of the OGs in terms of like a super sweet, slightly gourmand, not too expensive perfume. So there's so many perfumes that smell slightly like it now, I think. But I like the cupcake accord, I like the white chocolate accord, and the fruits are kind of stopping it from being horrifically sweet. And like I said, I find the Mariah Carey one has too many sweet notes, and the Vera Wang, on the other hand, doesn't have enough. So I think Fantasy is the safest blind buy. Sun Delight I really like. If you like a slight chocolate vibe, but you don't like really sweet perfumes, then Cherish Escape is actually a safe bet, I think. Because it's really grapefruity. It's really tart, but then it has that underlying bitter chocolate. It's some really fascinating perfumes here, to be honest. But yeah, so I hope that this was helpful in some way, that you enjoyed it. And that's me done for the day.